Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete Show, and I got a special guest, me. I love it. I have my 50th high school reunion coming up the end of this month, and I want to encourage my classmates to share. To share, 50 years is a long time. We don't think when we're in high school that we're going to be attending the 50th high school reunion. And the sad fact is, some don't, either by choice or they're not around. Life is precious. Life is very precious. It occurred to me before I start, I want to just frame this for you. Oops, now I got to do this. Okay. Over 3 years ago, my life changed. I had 49 days to think. 49 days of not moving, 49 days of learning to talk, learning to walk, learning to go to the bathroom, learning to eat, relearning everything. And when the plumbing stops on one half, it affects the other half. It's a story for another day. But the fact is, if you're alive, you have a second chance. I have a second chance. I got a chance to live a different way. And I chose over those 49 days to say, what will I do different? What do I want? When the last day comes, can I say, I lived boldly? Did I make an impact? And did I have fun? That's my words now. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun. I lived in fear my whole life. And the way I can share that with you, being dyslexic and ADD, I label myself slow. So when you label yourself, you own that. That's not the kind of label you want in life. Every single time I sent an email out when it eventually came about, I was fearful of being judged because I misspelled half the words. Took me a little bit longer to get out of high school than most. So I know that academics was not going to be my thing. So I chose a different path. But when life grabs you, and it'll grab you because life is challenges. We grow through our challenges. And in this situation, this was my first day outside. I'm not even a fisherman, but I fished that day. I hooked my speech pathologist with the hook when I was trying to throw the rod. So I'm a golfer, not a fisherman, but it was so incredibly powerful because that was the first time I got to see the sun from a perspective of a lake. We would go outside, but we never left the campus until this day. So this special day was special. Shepherd is special. I spent 39 days there, and I was able to think. When you're so busy being busy and you don't have a chance to think, you don't experience life. You don't connect with people. You're just busy, busy, busy. So I'm going to answer six to eight questions. I did this through AI because I'm thinking I've been gone for over 40 years. Now I've been back because my family's there. But still, there's people I haven't seen in 50 years. So what do I say? So what have you been doing the last 50 years? Can you sum it up in 5 minutes? Maybe 7? That's weird. And I'm not a writer. Let me think, who was it? Chris Bannon said, he's been gone for 50. I haven't seen him in 50 years. And we were golfers on the golf team. But life kind of takes us a different path. And so he asked people to kind of write something that, could at least give him some frame of reference, because you can't come in and go, I haven't seen you in 50 years. I haven't seen you. And then you can't possibly enjoy it if you don't have any connection points. So people wrote some wonderful, wonderful bios. I mean, great. And I learned them. I actually put them in AI. Give me 5 highlights from this so when I meet the people, I can have a good conversation. But my point is, I'm not a writer. I wasn't a writer. I flunked English. So writing was not going to be the way I was going to help connect. So I thought, you know what? I podcast. Done 400 of these. I'm a little bit better at podcasting than I am at writing. So I'll invite classmates on the podcast. That's what I want to do, is invite you to be a guest on the podcast. So if you can only listen to a couple minutes, let me give this. Go to pkane.me and just be a guest. Let us share with our classmates ways to connect, because life is short. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We wait on things, and sometimes we don't have an opportunity, because I live every single day like it's my last. One of these days I'm going to be right, but until then, I'm going to live boldly. I'm going to make an impact. I'm going to have fun. So let's get going. All right. What's one thing about your life today that your 18-year-old self would be surprised or proud of to know? That's a good one. I haven't even thought of these, so they're off the cuff. All right. So I think the one thing, we're stronger than we think. We're stronger than we think. We grow through adversity. And if we don't challenge ourselves, if we don't stretch, get out of our comfort zone, which is so easy to stay in our comfort zone, I would tell my 18-year-old self, lean in to life, lean into challenges, accept them, expect them. And when you get on the other side of the challenge, that's when the lesson that you will learn. Let me take this off here. Hold on. So when life hits you in the face, and it will, accept it as, honor that struggle, honor that time that I can be a better person, because you got to keep moving no matter what. 49 days of not doing anything. I'm in a wheelchair right now. I don't use it every day, but I use it to remember that, man, life is precious. And I loved when they came in and just moved you just slightly, because movement is what we want. Moving in everything. Move forward. Keep going. Don't stay stuck in anything. Okay, let me just get this up. All right. What's a lesson you learned that you wish you could go back and share with your younger self? Live boldly. Don't let fear own you. Live boldly. What's the worst that could happen? Ain't nothing, but you're going to grow. Don't let fear own you. Whatever you're doing, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to grow. Don't let it own you. Okay. What path did you take after high school, and was it the one you expected to take? Oh, geez. I started out after failing English, 2 attempts at Virginia Tech. Miserable, failed, didn't even come close. 2 attempts. First I thought apartment, too many distractions. I come back to dorm, come back the next year after 2 quarters in the dorm. Man, I was getting, and that's a story for another day, but I failed. I come in, work for a little bit. I'm going to go back, go into an apartment, fail. So I come back with my head between my legs and wondering what the heck happened. Academics was not going to be my thing. So I was diagnosed with dyslexia and ADD. Now, I have an active brain, and dyslexia is simply processing. I have written and auditory, which means words, I can't hear the normal sounds and don't put them down normally. People say, just look up that word in the dictionary. This is before Alexa and Siri. You got to learn, you got to know what the word begins with. If you don't know that, how do you look it up? So anyway, what I got off path here. What path? Oh, path. I started out. So I flunk the second time, and I say, well, you know what? I got to get a job besides moving, because I didn't want to spend a career in moving because I wasn't built for it. So I got a job. I just kept sending out things, calling. No, I don't think I called, but I got a job with Mr. Peanut Man. So I was Mr. Peanut Man for a few years. I got plenty of samples. I got a company car. It was great. And I stayed in food for a lot, but I had no idea what I was going to do. All I knew was that I had to find a path that was different than academics, because where all my friends were graduating and doing economic paths, which was fantastic, I was just trying to deal with my active brain and my dyslexia and trying to figure out working. And so I had no idea what I was going to do. It wasn't, I mean, I caught a lot of food, then a lot of digital marketing at the end. And I probably got a stroke because of digital marketing. But when I couldn't do that, I couldn't walk. I couldn't play golf. Like I was playing golf 5 days a week after work. I was running. I ran in over 20 peach trees. And so let me get this thing off. Hold on. Okay. So when all of a sudden that's taken away and you love golf, and I could never understand my friend John Tanner, who had a back injury, and we played golf with Reed all the time. And we competed and we loved it. And when I talked to him or text him, he wasn't playing anymore. And I said, how can that be? How can you not play something that you loved? And I now understand. When you don't play something for a while, it just gets out of your system. I even tried golf podcasting, but just didn't connect because I'm not playing that much. I mean, I was playing one-handed. Then I'd play two-handed. I went from maybe hitting it 240 to 245 to half of that. So if a hole was more than 130 carry, 125 carry, I couldn't do it because I couldn't hit it. My club head speed, this is an extension, but my ability to use two hands and use power was gone. And when I played in Tampa with Mike and Walt, there are holes I couldn't even play because I couldn't carry it to the landing area. So you get humbled and you lose something that you absolutely love. You got to figure out, what do you do? Now, for me, podcasting was my golf. My running was journaling. I'm not a writer, but I found peace in journaling. And that gave me maybe 3 years now, I write every single day. Now, this is a guy that flunked English. So writing, but my writing now is different because I'm clear. I'm not busy like I was before. I have a plan, and I love to podcast. I love to coach. So I'm doing two things that I absolutely love to do. So I think the lesson I learned there is maybe you had a path and it changed. You figure out a new path because you can. I mean, I can't run unless I want a face plant. I loved social running, not marathon running. That wasn't me, but I loved to get the runner's high and just be out there outdoors running. But that ain't happening now. I go to the gym 4 days a week, and I go to PT 3 to 4 hours a week. 3 to 4 hours a week, 3.5 years later. And I found the best one after I've been through 5. I wasn't getting results. Patience is not something I do much with. I wasn't getting results. I just went on to the next person and just found the best through a friend of mine, because I was 6 months walking and I wasn't getting any better. And I called her and she said, 1, you got to get your core. 2, you got to get back into PT. You got to get back, because just walking the wrong way ain't going to help. And you got to be intense. So my workouts are intense. When you see me pedaling at LA Fitness, man, I'm pedaling like a mad dog, because I'm getting that heart rate up and I'm getting that stamina back. Because it's a funny story. Well, to me it is. So we're playing in Tampa with Mike and Walt at Mike's place. And let's see, Mike's nursing a hip. So he's finished after 9. He's like pain getting through it. I'm finished after 9. I fall asleep in the golf cart. I am whooped. So I'm trying to get to 18. No, I'm trying to get my stamina back. So, I guess just, life is reset. And so it wasn't what I expected. No. Who was someone from your school days who made a lasting impression on you, and why? Dang. Ooh, I should have read these over. Let me think. Who was someone from your school days? You know what? I think teachers. Father Adrian made an impact. Buster Lammy, Willie Crowder. These people gave me subtle but powerful lessons. And at the time, you're 18, 17, whatever it is, you're thinking of these people as so much older. But then when you get out, they're not that far ahead, but they were pouring into you. And so that made an impact. Let me try to think. School. There was a lot of classmates that did. And I don't want to really, I will say this. I love people. I love being around people. So I enjoyed, because academics wasn't my thing. So I enjoyed. And okay, here we go. So when I had my stroke, I don't know. So I was gotten out of Shepherd. I'm in my house. And so I had some visits. Mike Natale, Walt flew in. Mike, I think, drove in. So I spent time with him. Fred was in Asheville, drove down for the day. For those that don't know the demographic, the geography of that, that's about almost 4 hours one way. So that's 8 hours just to have lunch. Those kind of things make an impact. Roy was in town, came by to see me. So those kind of things, because relationships are special. And when you need them the most, they're extra, extra special. So, okay. So let me say, what's been one of the most meaningful or proudest moments of your life so far? Ooh, dang. Ooh, meaningful or proudest. Okay, I'm going to go for meaningful first, and then I'll go for proudest second. Okay, meaningful was going out on dates with my granddaughters. My oldest are 6, 9, and 11. Going out on dates with my granddaughters. I think when you get to the grandparent days, the first, when you're raising your daughters, in my case, Sarah and Mary Rachel, you're so busy being busy, you don't take in that time as much as you do later. That's why everybody says, I wish I had my grandparents first. It's because you're so busy with raising kids, figuring it out, earning a living, doing all the things you got to do to get by that you're not present. But now it's different. I'm present. I love it. I could tell you some things that will just fill your heart. Kids at that age are just no filters. They say what they think, and it's beautiful. And so it's kind of like when we say be bold, be bold. We get older and we get our dreams and our goals and our fears. Our fears grow. So we start off with all these plans and then fear keeps us back. So challenge yourself. If you're a parent right now, be present. You know, I haven't been on social media in 3.5 years, more than just one or two things. I started in social media 10, 12 years ago. I'd been on it. I know it, but I gave it up because I wanted, one, for my brain to repair. Two, I didn't need that because when you're scrolling on social media, what you're doing is making judgments. You're taxing your brain. You're just basically, do I like this? Do I comment? What do I say? So that wears down your brain. I mean, it's the most freeing thing. I gave up drinking. Drinking. I mean, a beer after golf with friends was the best. But I knew my brain needed a break. And it was the best break I did because I thought back, man, all the stupid things I did were around drinking. So drinking, stupid. They're together. Well, maybe I need to change. So I did. So I don't drink. I don't drink. My mind is sharper, clearer, and healthier than it's ever been. And I wasn't a big drinker, but I certainly indulged on some beers, and especially in high school. That's okay. We won't go there. Okay. All right. What's okay? Let me think. What's okay? Oh, the proudest. Okay, the proudest. I think actually it's this week. So I moved from Asheville to Richmond in the middle of 8th grade. I don't even know we had like a graduation. I don't remember, but didn't get anything, nothing official. And you don't in 8th grade, but I never did at Benedictine. I mean, I got it later, but it was like going through summer school and getting a diploma wasn't the same as getting it with your classmates. So it was different, but you just got to keep moving forward. But my proudest moment, I just spent 30 hours this week, getting certified for the second year as a high performance coach. So I'm a certified high performance coach. Last year did the same thing. Oh my gosh, it was like fire hose of information, challenges. I mean, it was intense. So I have that quote unquote diploma, different type, but woo, man, I was proud of it. Man, after yesterday going through the final day, man, I was proud. Okay. All right. Now, what kept you grounded or brought your joy over the years? Family, hobbies, passion. Oh, that's a good question. What kept me grounded? Okay. One thing that kept me grounded, and I want to talk about family, hobbies, and passions, my faith. My faith has grown over the 50 years. No, not 50, since about 25. So my faith has kept me grounded. When I went through the stroke, My faith was plan B. Not, no, I mean, I don't know. Okay. So my faith became my rock after my stroke because I was in Shepherd and Anya, she was from Ukraine, still is from Ukraine, but we would talk. And my faith is so much different. And she said this. She said, "You know the stroke you had?" And I said, "Yeah." "Can I share something with you personal?" I said, "Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere." And we had been talking. I'd been praying for her. Her family was in that first part of the war that we thought it'd only last a week, and then it spun out of control. But anyway, she said this after we had many times praying. I was praying for her and her family. But she said, "You know the type of stroke you had, most don't survive. And if they do, they're a lot worse." And I'm going like, a lot worse than half your body not working? Oh my gosh. And she said, "I'll tell you this, you had a little angel looking after you." And it was kind of that perspective of that second chance that God had saved my life and gave me a second chance. And I was going to live it differently. I was going to be present, be bold, make an impact, have fun, live life differently. Now, at the time, I'm just trying to eat, trying to speak. Because when I got out, my partner said, "Hey, you like golf? Why don't you podcast golf?" I go, "Yeah, I do. I like golf, but I don't know a thing about podcasting." So I started out in that, and it just wasn't the same because I just wasn't playing and wasn't feeling it. So I switched. But anyway, the story is life gives you a second chance. And when it does, it gives you a chance to reset. Whether, and I know haven't seen Les in a long time, but this is for you, Les. I mean, hey, look, I had half my body leave me. Now, they also said, you always ask, "Hey, like when am I going to be able to play golf? When am I going to be able to do this? How long is this thing going to do to recover?" Um, we don't know. Brain injuries, we just don't know. But I've asked some people that weren't tied to the medical because they just don't know. And I've heard several times, 8 years. Well, I had this at 64. That gives me 72, if that's the number. Because your stamina has to come back. You got to rewire your brain. So I'm like, shoo, where I would normally be playing golf more often and running and hanging out with the kids physically, now I have to adjust. Now I'm looking to live to be 100 because I need time. I need more runway. So if God gives me this runway, I'm going to use it to the best of my ability. So I don't know what the heck. Oh, family. Choose. The rock is family. Family, family, family. Hug your kids. Appreciate your family. And, the political situation. This will be my one political statement. Give yourself grace. If you don't believe what your other classmate believes, hey, look, give them some grace. We're yelling and screaming at each other. And I know there's one person that didn't want to come because he doesn't want to be around a certain mindset. Jeez. You don't want to have to go through a stroke. You don't want to have to look at life differently. You can decide that your friends are special. They're specially in how they believe. Have a discussion with them, but learn to disagree. Learn to say, "Hey, that's your opinion. That's great. Maybe think of it this way." And if they think of it, great. If they don't, be with them. Be present. Listen to them. Get to know them. Okay. Hobbies. Yeah, I got new hobbies now. Journaling and podcasting. That's my hobbies. And dating my granddaughters, my daughters, and going and hugging on family and friends. My passion is coaching and podcasting. I love it. I love it. Okay. Have you reconnected with anyone from our class over the years, or is this the first time back? Whoa, dang. Yeah, 45. I hadn't seen Steve Shinholzer in 45 years. So we reconnected and we ended up having a really, long conversation. And I understand he's going to be there. So that was 45 years of not, and we reconnected because we had a lot of cool common things that were going on. And he was telling me about his son, just different things. So that was cool. I haven't been, I've been back to 45. I've been back to fair amount. But, when you go back, it's, you don't have that much time because I have my family up there, my two sisters, two brothers, my mom. So you're balancing all that with being in town, other friends, that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to this. And if you could sum up your journey so far in a few words or a short story, what would it be? Ooh, man. What? Okay. Life is a challenge. Honor the struggle. Grow. Because one thing that helped me was I was listening to a podcast. Here, let me get this a little smaller. I was listening to a podcast, and this was about maybe a year after the stroke. And I'm just kind of soaking up because you have plenty of time to listen. So I'm listening to a podcast, and I had seen this gentleman, Brendan Bouchard, 10, 12 years ago in San Francisco. And I was blown away. And he was on the Ed Milet show, and he mentioned Growth Day. And I went, dang, what's that? I was kind of like, man, I wonder what he's been up to. And then I joined. And oh my gosh, it was one of those moments when you just take off like an eagle, because it started changing my mindset, started helping me to fine tune things, to learn, to grow. We say a thing, and I'm going to do a little advertisement. Yeah, because I can. It's my show. Okay. So you can try it for 7 days. But if you could have somebody speak to you who, he works with billionaires, Olympic athletes, celebrities, you name it, he works with them. And his fees are $1 million. So if you don't have $1 million, maybe you have 50, because you can try it for 7 days, see him speaking to you every day. Another person that's in the community that's related to what he's covering speaks to you. And then you have 2 thought-provoking questions. Then you grade yourself. This put me on a trajectory to hire high-performance coaches, to be a high-performance coach. Now I've gone through the second phase of certification, and I love it. And it was Growth Day that put this. We take showers every day, physically getting clean, but do we work on this? Do we work on our mindset? We don't. We don't. And if you go to pkane.me/growth day, I'll send you my mindset goals and habits. That's my advertisement. So, okay. Growing mentally is so important, because we stop growing, we stop living. You got to live. When you're growing, you're living alive. It's just incredible when you commit. We call it the 5 to Thrive. When you commit to every day taking a mental shower, The average person watches 4 hours of TV and up to 3 hours of social media. So if we take 6 hours, let's say, of that, maybe it's not 3, that's a third, and you're awake for 18 hours. That's a third of your life you're consuming. We're born to create. We're born to create. And creating your life is an opportunity. So instead of consuming, create. Okay, that's my advertisement. I might have one more. I don't know. Okay. Oh, man, it's 35 minutes. Okay, that's it. All right, so here it is. Be a guest on my podcast. So maybe you can't be on the Steve Bannon podcast, the War Room, I think he calls it. But maybe you could be on the Pete Kane podcast. So challenge yourself. Be bold. Make an impact. And think of your friends that are out there wondering what you've been up to. And in my case, I reset at 64. I'm still learning and growing, learning how to walk without weaving and bobbing. And it's all a post. Yeah. Hotel Roanoke. Yeah, that was a little weaving and bobbing. And Virginia Tech was a little weaving and bobbing. That's a story for another day. But I still weave and bob, but I don't have police hunting me. I mean, getting after me. So I tell you that to tell you, get on, be bold, get on the podcast, go to pkane.me, share your story. And what I was saying there, it doesn't matter whether you're 68 or 28. You can start now to grow. You can start now because we're retiring, most of us, some at 65, some now. You have to repack that bag. You got to repack it. You got to have purpose. Without purpose, we die. 2 years after retirement, without purpose, our health just goes way down. So what is that purpose in your life? You got to repack it. You got to change your priorities. You all of a sudden you're not at a work environment, and you got to figure out what the next chapter of your life. So 50. Do we have 75 reunion? Probably. I don't know what the highest number is, but that's to my friends. Repack, repurpose, and decide what the next chapter, because you got many chapters left. With AI, I heard somebody say, live 10 years more, and you won't believe the advancements in our health. You live 10 years more, you may live 100, more than 100. Crazy, because it's going to be able to improve things. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Again, be a guest on my podcast. And if you want to connect with us and follow us, go to pkane.me/connect, because you can connect with us. I've been off social media for 3 years. I'm getting back. Not much, but just enough to troll and poke and challenge. You're going to see some poking and you're going to see some challenging. And I'm going to challenge you to get on the podcast, because life is short. And think of your other classmates. If you're not, let's say, made a decision to come to the reunion, maybe this can be the pushing, the priding, getting, life is short. Enjoy your friends. You went to high school with them. Maybe you weren't best of friends with every single one, but life is precious. So reconnect with them. Come to the podcast. Come to get on the podcast. And for St. Gertrude's, if somebody will do it, I'll probably do a few. But if you want to share your story, we'll figure out something. I have a podcast academy, so I want to train others to be podcasting. It's the best thing ever. You learn so much, you grow so much, and you have so much fun. So be bold, make a difference, and have fun. See you at the reunion, and get your other friends to get on the podcast so we can have some stories to share.